This is a message from your guides reading for the child. So I have 4 crystals here. I'm going to go ahead and surround this in some protective space with my selenite wand. Okay, so there's some masculine energies coming in with the selenite. This has to do with contacting higher entities, higher realms, bringing higher energies through, psychic abilities as well, and also clearing. There's also even a feeling like astral travel that I'm going to mention. Okay, so then I have 3 stones here that are all lower chakra stones, especially solar plexus stones. So I have my sunstone here and my tiger's eye, and then I have my citrine. So citrine really focuses on coming into your own, your personal power. Sunstone is just kind of your all-around solar plexus kind of stone going on here. So ambition, drive, also happiness, success. So then we have tiger's eye, and this is a very grounding stone. So there's some other lower chakras coming in here with this stone as well. And it definitely focuses on groundedness, also endurance, vitality, strength, persistence, and definitely drive is a very solar plexus energy. Drive, the drive to manifest, to accomplish things, and even to get grounded, to ground certain aspects of ourself down. And it's one of the first grounding chakras, the solar plexus. It kind of starts that process. It not only starts the completion of the manifestation process as those energies are moving down, but then it also starts to really ground us, bring our visions into focus. So I feel like this is definitely something that your guides want to talk about. Because this isn't a time for you to be ungrounded or unfocused, or to be unclear. So they want you to be really focused because even when I was surrounding you in the protective space, your energy was feeling kind of off the ground. So it is feeling a bit ungrounded. So they're talking about things that they have spoken about in previous readings, which which had to do with goals when it comes to making money and to becoming more grounded in that way, becoming financially free and less dependent, more independent. and more able to sort of build on yourself and your own empire, and to create that. And also that that was a goal that was going to be kind of shifting more into focus, and also that it would take a little while to get it going. But within about a year, that would be manifesting more. And then within 2 years, it would be like very complete, very solid, um, like more thriving, it feels like. But in the first year, already really um, seeing certain aspects already manifested in that way, um, where things are already happening, where your finances are already being adjusted, and where you're seeing how something can work. Okay, but something that they're saying is the thing about predictions, the thing about talking about what they're seeing, you know, as far as events that that may take place, um, it has to do with probabilities. And what makes it more probable or less probable, it has to do with your current energy, and it has to do with the way that your energy is headed, what it's moving towards. So they're saying that it's not a sure thing. It can seem really sure. It can seem very probable, or most likely even to a high degree, or it might even have 100% probability with the current energy right then. But even if you're saying 100%, that still means for the energy right then and right there, if it continues that exact way. And if you're talking about 100%, then it most likely has a very high probability of just continuing that course and going that direction, but not always. So that's why it's still a probability. So again, they're saying that these are not sure things. They have to do with where your energy currently is. So they're saying that if your energy isn't grounded down, then that becomes much less probable. So they're saying that the energy is shifting right now in a more ungrounded way. So they're saying that you need to have a clear vision as far as what you want in regards to your finances. And they're saying that you need to shift this energy back. Um, they're saying to thinking more practically, to thinking practically, to thinking in a grounded reasonable way. So in other words, where you're using reason, you're using logic. That's why they're using that word. A grounded, more root chakra centered way. So they're saying if you have too much of this energy up here, focused on the higher chakras, the third eye, the crown, the throat, the heart, those are the higher chakras, more or less. Obviously, there are ones even above that. There are some in between as well. Quite a number of them. But of these like standard 7, those are more or less the higher chakras. They're saying that the heart chakra is still kind of passing a little bit more into the middle, but it's still a higher chakra. Because it's sort of just coming down into the lower ones. So they're saying it's an important chakra because it is helping to connect the lower chakras with the higher ones as well. Even though they're still considering it more of a higher chakra, still it is kind of coming down more or less to meet the lower ones, the more grounding energies. So they're saying that that's very important to have in tune, to have unblocked. And they're saying that you need to shift to more practical desires. They're saying in order to ground more and to cause the energy to shift back to where it was headed, to what they were seeing as far as you advancing financially and becoming more stable and more sound and more secure in that way, because they're saying that that's very important for you, because that's going to increase your energy so much. They're saying that you're going to be so much happier and more fulfilled in your life when you're less dependent. They're saying in a way that you don't even see now because you haven't really experienced that so much. And it feels like you haven't experienced that in a long time. But also there's a feeling almost like you haven't ever truly experienced it, where you could solely rely on yourself, where you knew that you have that backing from yourself, and your self-support was very high and very strong and intact and solid. And they're saying that you don't understand how much happier you will be. When you're dependent on yourself completely in that way, in the area of finances. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that you are by yourself, or that you're the only one producing finances or income in the household. The point is that even though that isn't the case, you're obviously there's more than one person in the household that will be making money. Let's just not even think about that for a minute and just think about you by yourself. And the point is that you would be able to sustain yourself without anybody else. Even though obviously that's not the reason that you're doing it, obviously. That's not the thing that they want to occur or that they're suggesting at all. The point is that you could take care of yourself and that you know you can do it. And that causes such a shift within yourself and the way that you observe things around you, the way that you think of yourself, the way that you speak to others, the way that you think about others. They're saying the way that you dress even. They're saying that there's going to be all these drastic shifts and changes because your confidence will increase so much and you'll be so much happier as a person. So they're saying that this is really important. They're saying that this is the most important shift. And they're saying that this is the thing that really needs to take place in your life to concretely defeat all of these voices of self-doubt, of unworth, that attract things, that attract people, that attract events. Even they're saying that attract false guidance. Or where you can't see clear, or where you're hearing a thought form. So they're saying that all of these things come from this ungroundedness, this sense of insecurity, and they're saying that financial relief, but in the form of you have your own business, you're making money from that, and individually, like, in other words, not with some employer or something, but it's your own business. And that's not even to say, not that you couldn't ever work for somebody else, like part-time or on the side or whatever you wanted to do. So they're saying this isn't something to pose a limit or something, but this is like the ultimate thing that they see as breaking all of this stuff. But they're saying that to do that, you have to be grounded. And they're saying that you have to think very rationally, very logically, versus emotionally, or even they're saying even intuitively in some ways. Because they're saying that intuition, when it's coupled with emotion, it can come out false. They're saying that it really depends on what the emotion is. They are saying logic as well can do that. If there's too much of one thing, in other words, versus another, then the intuition can almost come out wrong. It doesn't work properly. So again, they're saying that what's needed is for you to step back into this flow of events that they were seeing before, because this has a really positive outcome. And you've stepped back from that. You've stepped back from that a bit more and more as you, and you will. They're saying more and more if you continue to become more ungrounded. So they're saying that this has to do with stepping out of emotions where that um, completely leads you, and stepping more into logic and thinking about what you need to do and what needs to be done and how you can get from point A to point not only B, but X, Y, and Z in the long run. And what is going to help you the most right now? And what is going to shatter through these beliefs? And they're saying that they've always talked about how it was your dependency that increased all of those blocks, and your independency would ultimately break all of that. So they're saying that simple steps need to start being taken, whatever they are. Okay, so you have a Native American energy coming in now. And this doesn't feel like a guide that's contracted with you. This more feels like somebody that your guides have more or less called in. So this person is around you temporarily, but this feels like somebody that you've had a life with. And this feels like a father figure. Like this person was probably like your father during some past lifetime that you had. And it feels like you had an earth lifetime with this person, but it also feels like you had a star lifetime with this person. But this father energy, I feel like, is coming especially from this earth lifetime, where this person was very much guiding you and directing you. And it feels like they've kind of moved on. They're more guiding from another stance right now, another place right now, because they're in the astral. And it doesn't feel like they're planning on being physical, having more physical lifetimes, or if they do, not for a while. It feels like right now they're doing other things out there. So right now they've kind of stepped in. They are very intuitive. He has a very high energy. He's very psychic. He's very intuitive, but he's also very grounded. And he has that depth of grounding and a very secure feeling. But at the same time, he's balanced with both. And so he's able to connect with that current energy. That's what you're feeling right now, and sort of help to ground it. Because he has both. Because he has an equal balance of both. So they're just saying that you're not by yourself, and they're helping you. And they're saying to always remember that your guides are there and you're not by yourself. But the point is that you don't need a physical person. They're saying that you don't need a physical person to be complete. And they're saying, yes, you have physical people in your life, but they're saying that you yourself are the one that completes you, or the one who restores yourself and your energies and rejuvenates yourself and uplifts yourself and attracts positive things to yourself. And they're also saying that you don't attract positive things because of a connection to anybody else. They're saying that you attract positive things because you're the source of those things. So they're saying that they want to empower you. And they're saying that groundedness always follows a powerful feeling. They're saying that somebody who feels self-empowered is a grounded person. So they're saying that they want you to feel that self-empowerment, and that's really what the solar plexus is all about. That's really what it increases. It increases this self-empowerment that they're talking about. So the solar plexus is definitely a focus here. Now you have a kind of dragon guide coming in. And she's like breathing this fire on you and this fire on your stomach. And this has to do with birthing something new. So almost like a fertility thing, but she's coming in with a lot of masculine energy as well. She's breathing like this fire on everything. So this also has to do with cleansing you. Also, cleansing you of like past life karma and karmic issues that are really deeply rooted. And it feels like sometimes when karma surfaces to release, it's like it's fighting to stay. So this would be, it is karma in a sense. And she's using the word karma, but it's almost like beliefs, thought forms, even maybe entities that are attached to us because of karma, because of karmic attachments to those things. Even cords to others, it feels like that come out of karma, karmic attachments. And they do form actual bonds. And there's a feeling like those bonds can speak. Those bonds can speak to us. They can almost become real. So they become tangible. They can send us thoughts. They can send us feelings. And so they become thought forms. They become programmings that are conscious, but in an undeveloped way. And they're very programmed to be a certain way, to send you certain things, certain responses for you to have, certain thoughts and feelings for you to have. But it feels like a lot of these come out of disrespecting yourself and this sort of feeling like you're beneath or you are unworthy. And it also comes from this like abusive type of energy and this almost like a feeling of neglect even. And that's not only from this lifetime. This, again, this is going way back into past lifetimes. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of clearing here and then see what else they have to say. So I'm going to use my citrine, which again, this is very self-empowering. This energy definitely focuses on that and heightening that sense of drive and self-empowerment and taking action. So they're saying that your role, your sort of destiny, or like the thing that you've contracted to do when it comes to your career, it really goes hand in hand with being grounded, even though it's going to be intuitive, um, even though there's definitely going to be a spiritual energy to it, which it feels like you need to feel complete, to feel fulfilled, and to feel a sense of purpose. And that lets you know that you've contracted to do that thing because you have that. But it's also going to give you a very secure feeling, a very grounded feeling. You're going to feel more clear. But it feels like there are karmic attachments that you still have to evaluate and let go of. Okay, so they're having me sort of pulling your head down. And then this is causing everything else to come down more. Um, and there's this kind of resistant kind of feeling, and then these kind of blocks that the energy is hitting against. But as I'm hitting against it, there is this sort of just general sadness. And that's what it's hitting against. It's like this lonely, sad kind of feeling that has to be addressed. That is sort of blocking things and hindering things. But this again, this feeling like seeing clearly, and and that causes you to not see clearly because it also causes you to need others and to be more dependent, because it just feels very alone. It feels very sad, but it also feels isolated, alone, and it feels like deprived because of it, but in this way where it's feeling very unsafe because of it. It's feeling unsafe and unsure. And so there's also a lot of fear with this energy, but it feels like, especially at first, it's going to come up more like sadness. And that's the way that it hits you. But they're saying that that's a good thing, because that's a block that needs to be addressed and evaluated and released in order for you to really ground and to bring your intentions into manifested form, where you don't need anyone else and you're dependent and you see clearly and you know who you are and you're financially fulfilled and you're purpose driven and your purpose is being completed. Because your guides are saying that you're a very strong person and you don't need anyone else. They're saying that you've always felt like you needed somebody else. They're saying you need somebody else to fulfill you, to make you happy, but also to ground you and support you and make you feel safe. And they're saying, and to make you feel like you can do it on your own. But they're saying that you'll never do it on your own when you need that. And it doesn't even mean that they won't be there. So they're not saying that you're going to end up alone or by yourself when you remove this stuff. The point is that you'll be capable. You already are, but they're saying that you just don't see yourself that way yet, or like really, really believe it. So they're saying that this is a belief that is forming, but it's like it's struggling to pass through these other karmic beliefs that you have. And they're saying that those have to be released. And attachments to that karma has to be released. And attachments to people completing you in this way have to be released. But again, they're saying that you're a very strong person. And they're saying that you're going to come in contact with that and you're going to be happy. But they're saying that you have to allow that up. So they're saying that you have to face your fear. And they're saying that you have to break connections that don't serve you. Because they're saying that they are fear-based. They're fear-based attachments. And they're also saying that it's very odd that we can become so attached to someone who is abusive. Like when you have someone who's the actual source of something, they're saying. That can often be the person that you get the most attached to later on. Like Like you need their approval specifically. Since they're the ones since they're the one who caused this, they're the one who saw you in this way. They're the one who produced those feelings for you. And again, they're talking about karma-based things. They're talking about past lives. Of course, they're saying when we come into this life, we can't see that anymore. We don't remember it consciously anymore. So we just fall into old patterns and these subconscious needs, because subconsciously we do recognize the person as being that individual, and it's like we need them to fulfill us. And we think that if we have their approval, it will undo all the things that they did. But they're saying that it won't fulfill you. They're saying now coming into your own energy, on the other hand, that is what is needed. They're saying that's what is needed. That's what is appropriate for you and will fulfill you in the long run and the short run, but it will be sustainable. It will fulfill you sustainably. So they're saying that yes, you are a twin flame, and that's brought you into a very high energy. So now they're coming into, no, they're saying they've been talking about this whole time. They just haven't used that word. They haven't spoken it directly, they're saying. See, I never know exactly what they're talking about. I'm just repeating things. But they're saying they have been talking about that this whole time. So they're saying that it's good that you're a twin flame, but they're saying not to let attachments to twist a message, to cause you to see what you want or to twist a message coming through. They're saying that some connections are real and serve you. And they're true. And some connections want to pose themselves that way. But they're saying that it's not to benefit you. It's to get you off course or off track and keep you from addressing something. So they're saying that you are a twin flame, and they're not denying that you are a twin flame, and that can bring you into a much higher energy. But they're saying that that's only one piece of it, that you yourself are a twin flame. And that brings you into a higher energy. But they're saying that beyond that, they're saying that certain attachments can be so strong that they try to pose as something real. And they're saying that you're going to listen to that the most because it has a very charged energy and it can pull things in. So they're saying that you have to be careful when you're asking a question that has a lot of attachments attached to it. And they're saying that they're concerned about an ungrounded shift that wants to continue manifesting more. And they want to pull you out of that energy and realign you and tune you into yourself. And also then you can know who matches you. Because they're also saying that a twin flame is an exact match. They're also saying that you might have similar issues. So things might come up between you. And it doesn't mean that everything is roses. But at the same time, they're saying that there's an equal balance of positive. There always is. Because you are both and you have both. And ultimately, that's what you cause for one another, sort of both along the journey, maybe at times. And every time something is going to come up, every time something is going to be there, they're saying. But in the end, it's going to come to positivity. So they're saying that there's an extent of negativity that a twin flame can bring up. But they're saying that beyond that, it has to reflect you. So in other words, it's not going to cause more. It's not going to cause more damage. It's going to show you things that are within yourself, yes, and cause you to face those things at times in an appropriate way. But that's all that it's going to do. So they're saying that that can appear negative, but not drastically so. Again, they're saying that they want to help you to be on course with your destiny, with your true path, and never a false one. And they're saying that obviously you have to go with your intuition. So they're saying that these are always suggestions that come in. Ultimately, they're saying that you have to make choices based off what you observe and based off what rings true and what rings clear. and what is obvious. They're saying that some things are answered more obviously. And some things aren't, they're saying, but they're also saying that some things are very obvious. Just by a simple observation, it's very easy to answer some questions. And they're saying that this isn't only based off twin flame things. This is even in general. And they're saying that some questions don't even need to be asked because they're obvious. However, that's the thing about attachments, they're saying. Then things that should be obvious are unclear, even very unclear. But they're saying that there are certain things that need to manifest, that you need to pull through and pull out of yourself to really be happy, like they've been saying. And this honestly has to do a lot with grounding and with career, they're saying. And so some of this is more logically based. And so you have to pull from your logic. And not from your emotions, they're saying. Sometimes to see something clearly and obviously, when there's a lot of emotion there and a lot of attachment because of that emotion, you have to go more logically based. And just say, what is the logical answer? And then you can detach more. If you're viewing it in that way, in this more logical way, it's automatically more an angle of detachment. They're saying that's an angle that will really serve you right now. So they're saying, so focusing on the solar plexus, allowing this sadness and this loneliness to release. And there's also, that's the second time that I've felt that coming in as well. It also feels like being ungrounded and this sort of shift. It feels like it also it also can prolong the Kundalini awakening. And so that's another thing that they're wanting you to come into. But that has to do with all of the chakras connecting. And when all of them are connected, you'll definitely feel very grounded. Because this is about the Kundalini rising from the base and going all the way to the highest point, the highest chakra. And so it goes up through all of the chakras. And they're saying that it sort of blasts your whole chakra system with this enlightened energy. And you respond to things out of that energy, and you know yourself more automatically out of that energy. And they're saying, and you pull from that energy with whatever you do. So they're saying they want to nudge you more on track and nudge you into more of a grounded, clear state where you're grounded. They're really stressing this idea of groundedness, where you're clear, where you're focused, where you have drive, you have purpose, and it doesn't come from someone else. It comes from you and you alone, they're saying. Just you. They're saying that you are all that you need. You are safe. You are secure. You are powerful. And they're also saying that you have a level of integrity where you're honest with yourself. And they're saying that you can honestly look at everything in a logical way. When you choose to look at it in an unattached way. Because they're saying that attachments don't serve and they make you unclear. And they present things that are false, and they always will. They always will. They're saying that they present a feeling of false comfort. There's an idea of comfort that they present. To stay holding on to those beliefs or those attachments. Because we need those things in order to survive, in order to feel safe. So it's our root chakra, especially, they're saying, that attaches to these things, to these needs. Because our root chakra, when it's operating correctly, gives us that sense of a strong will, even they're saying, but also this very secure feeling, this sense of safety on the physical plane. And that's why we have this strong will to be able to manifest things and to be able to move forward into these other chakra energies. So our will comes from our fearlessness, and then our drive, our ambition from the solar plexus, our connection to higher beings. It really all starts from there. That's why that's the first chakra. And that chakra is all about feeling safe and feeling worthy to be here. They're saying that that is the worth chakra. It gives you your sense of worth, your sense of security. I am worthy of being here on this physical planet. I'm worthy of being here. I'm worthy of surviving. I'm worthy of having what I need. I'm also worthy of having what I want. I'm worthy of thriving. And that energy moves up into the other chakras. And that's what you create out of when that chakra is intact. So they're saying that your root chakra is actually your most blocked chakra right now. And they're also saying it has been for a really long time. But It also feels like they haven't talked about that chakra as much as some of the others at points, for the reason that those have to be addressed before we can move down. It's like you have to move down and down into these lower ones and keep clearing and clearing. But they're saying that this is the main source of the blocks. And they're saying that financial security always comes from this chakra, because again, it says that you're worthy to be here and you're worthy to have whatever it is that you require to sustain yourself, to thrive, to survive. To survive, but also to thrive. And this is the chakra that provides that, and provides a sense of security and fearlessness and comfort, true comfort in the world around it, and being here when it operates correctly. When it's holding on to blocks, it's going to feel self-doubt. It's going to feel alone, like it can't do it on its own. It's going to feel insecure. It's going to feel vulnerable, but not in like an open heart chakra center type of way. And that vulnerability up here from the heart chakra can really only come from our sense of sort of invulnerability in a way, from our root chakra. In other words, just feeling strong, feeling safe, feeling secure in the world around us. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say for this reading. So thank you very much for allowing me to do another reading for you. And I truly hope, as always, that this reading benefits you, that it serves you. Thank you very much. Namaste.